John Kibera grew up in the unforgiving slums of Nairobi, where poverty was more than just a condition, it was a way of life. His mother worked endlessly to provide, but hunger gnawed at him constantly. The desperation of survival led him to crime. At first, it was petty theft, pickpocketing, breaking into houses, but the streets whispered of something darker, something that paid well: grave robbing. The dead had value. Witch doctors and underground traders sought fresh corpses for rituals and black market sales. Kibera hesitated at first, but the promise of money drowned out his conscience. One cold night, Kibera and his accomplices crept into Langata Cemetery. The graveyard stretched before them, tombstones bathed in eerie moonlight. The silence felt heavy, suffocating, but greed urged him forward. Digging was grueling. Dirt clung to his fingers. Sweat dripped into his eyes. The coffin finally surfaced. Kibera's heart pounded as he pried open the lid. The stench of death hit him like a blow. The shriveled remains stared back at him, their finality both terrifying and fascinating. Any fear he had died that night. John Kibera was no longer just a thief. He had become a grave robber. Word spread in the criminal underworld Kibera was the man who could deliver the dead. No grave was safe, no body beyond his reach. Money poured in. Fear followed. Families began guarding burial sites. Some hired armed watchmen. Others reinforced coffins with metal bars. But Kibera was relentless. Yet, with every body he unearthed, a weight settled on his soul. At night he heard whispers, soft, mournful. At first he dismissed them, but they grew louder. Sometimes he woke up gasping, convinced unseen eyes were watching him. The dead were calling. One fateful night, Kibera and his men returned to Langata Cemetery. But this time, someone had tipped off the police. Gunshots shattered the silence. Red and blue lights painted the graveyard. There was no escape. Handcuffed and thrown into the back of a police truck, Kibera's reign of terror ended. But his torment had just begun. Prison was worse than he had imagined. The walls felt like they were closing in. The voices, they whispered his name, accused him, tormented him. He screamed for them to stop, but the walls swallowed his cries. Then, in the darkness of his cell, something changed. Whether it was guilt, fear, or something divine, Kibera dropped to his knees and begged for mercy. Years later, Kibera walked out of prison a free man. But he was different. He carried a Bible now, stood before crowds, and preached salvation. He told his story, warning others of the darkness he had embraced. Some believed him, others remained skeptical. The past is not so easily buried. It lingers, waiting, whispering. Had John Kibera truly found redemption, or had he simply traded one mask for another? What do you think? Can a man truly change? Or do some sins haunt forever? I'm Bali, and this has been African Crime Stories.